Hello everyone and welcome back to Paper Peony. I'm Kimberly Jones and I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up. The products I'm using are Stampin' Up and I'm going to show you how you can create this card using the Stampin' Up products shown. This is the second version of the beaver. I showed you in the last video how to do a step down version of this card. And so on this tutorial, I'm going to focus on how to step it up and make it more advanced. So let's get started. The stamp set, the bundle that I'm using is the Fluffiest Friends. It is shown online. It is an online exclusive, so it's not found in any of our catalogs. You can go on the link below on my Stampin' Up website, hit shop, and then hit online exclusives, and there you will find this bundle. Okay, and then I'm using Oceanfront stamp set for my background, for my water and my grass, and this is found in the annual catalog. The way I did my background, you can use dies to do that, but because this is a big oval die that I'm using, I went ahead and just colored and stamped across the whole entire white that I'm using. So you don't need to have a die specifically for this one like you did the first one. And then the other dies that you will need is the Aspen Trees dies. And I believe these were found in one of our mini catalogs. I think it's found on the online exclusives right now. It may even be in the annual catalog, but it's one of those two options. Here is the background that we're going to be using. These are the trees. And then, of course, it comes with a leaf. It comes with a couple leaves and a bird. This actually coordinates with the stamp set, but I didn't get the stamp set, and we're just using the trees in this particular project. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to color our background. And with this one, I actually used Lost Lagoon and Boho Blue for my water. So I have I want to say this is a 4x5 piece of basic white cardstock. I'm going to bring in my mat so I don't get ink on my table. Okay. Now in the other class that I taught, the one prior to this one, I showed you how I did my mask. And so I'm not going to use that in this particular one. I'm going to use just sponges and stamps to go across the whole entire background. Okay, so we're going to use Boho Blue as our base. And I already went ahead and mounted my stamps from the Oceanfront. And I'm just going to stamp the Boho Blue. It's not necessary that you do the spritz on this one because the trees are going to kind of cover most of it. But if you did want to have some kind of water effect or driplet effect like in the last one, you can do that at this point. So I just did this and then went across and did it again. Okay. And then I came in with Lost Lagoon. And of course you want to take the Boho Blue off of your stamp before you change colors. Okay, and then stamp it in Boho Blue. Okay, and you might want to do the same thing with it. Spritz it so it's not so dark. Come in and do a stamp. And then come over and do a stamp. Okay. Now this one looks like it's maybe a little bit darker than my original, and that's fine. The other thing that you can do is take in your blender brush and just kind of blend all of these colors together. You can also spritz it and make it a little bit lighter if you want. I think this is going to be fine for what I'm doing. Okay, and then you're going to take Pool Party. And I used a bigger sponge for this. They're small and big. And I just went in and colored the sky a little bit lighter than my water. Okay. And you can go in and kind of color in some of those blues. Okay, and then I did Old Olive for the grass on this one because I really wanted it to be kind of an earthy vibe because of the trees and stuff. And so I just kind of went in and colored this bottom a little bit darker. And then because the old olive is a little bit lighter, I went in with Mossy Meadow, which is a darker green, and stamped my grass a little bit darker so you could actually see it. Now this is a little bit darker than my original, but that's okay. And then the ground or the sand, the beach, is pecan pie. And I just did a little bit of it just because you're not going to see much of it. So I just kind of went in and just kind of made a shore, like so. Okay, so there's our background. Okay, now here is where the Aspen Dies come in. Okay. I went ahead and cut a piece of pecan pie as well. Now, these are going to be about the same size. You're going to run it through your die cut machine twice with the Aspen Dies. So, how this works, okay, you're just going to center this in the center of your 4x5 cardstock, like so. Okay, and I taped it so it wouldn't move on me as it went through the die cut machine. I kind of taped it on all four corners, like so. So here, 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 and here, so it won't move on me. Okay, and once you run this through, that's going to be your background. So let me run that through real quick. And what you're left with is this image. And you're going to punch out all of these little dies pieces. Okay, now for these little pieces, here's when the pick tool comes into effect. This has a poker end, and you can just use this to poke into those finer areas and the dies will fall out for you. So it does have a purpose. Okay, so here is going to be your background that's going to go over your sponged image, your stamped image that you just did. Okay, so it's coming together, as you can see. Okay, then what you're going to do, and for the sake of this video, I already did this, but I'm going to walk you through it. So on this pecan pie, what you're going to do is you're going to take adhesive sheets, because this is going to make it easier. And here's our adhesive sheets. And you're just going to peel them. They come in strips. I wish they came in whole sheets, but that's okay. Okay, so you're going to just cover the back of your cardstock with these adhesive sheets. And you're going to just use enough to what your die is going to be. So like this is pretty much the back of my piece of paper. And what I did is I covered it, and then I took scissors and cut off the excess. Like so. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to flip this. You're going to put your die cut on top, and then you're going to run it through. And then after you run it through, it's going to be like a sticker for you, because this back here is going to be the back side of your trees. Okay. So after doing that part, here is what you're left with. Okay. And I went ahead and cut out one of my trees. And you're just going to position this over the white. And you're going to probably see some white, and that's fine. But see, then you're just going to cover your trees. Okay. And I went ahead and just cut. And sometimes it's easier probably if you just went ahead and just went around the whole entire circle like I'm doing right now. And that way you're left with this one big piece, because the bigger the piece, the easier it's going to be to peel off the back. Okay, so I use the poker part of this to get me an edge going. And see, like this one right here has like a piece that's right there sticking up, and then if you grab it, it might just go ahead and peel the whole entire backing off for you. This is the only part, is that it's a little time consuming to do it this way, because you have to find the exact piece that's going to peel off the backing for you. And when you have nails, then it's challenging. Okay, so we've got one started up. There's that one. And sometimes it likes to peel easy, like so. And then sometimes it's a little more challenging, like this one right here is being challenging. And then go in and try to peel this back off. And it looks like it might peel easy. Okay. Okay, so now you're ready to piece this. Now the only thing with a bigger piece is that you're going to have to really go slow on putting it down, because if you don't, then it's going to be hard to line up. Okay, and there you have it. I actually like this better because you're seeing that white shadowing on the trees, and it's going to stand out more, I think, once I get it all mounted and pieced together. So, okay, so now, and if you don't like the white showing, you can always sponge these white pieces and it will be pecan pie. The whole entire tree will be pecan pie. So now after you've done this, then you're going to take your sponge. Now, if you want to be safer about it, you could have done this before you mounted the trees on here, okay? But I'm taking Pool Party. Let me find my Pool Party because I don't want it to be real dark. This is Balmy Blue. And it might just be, oh, it was Balmy Blue to begin with. Okay, so Balmy Blue, and you're just going to come in and you're just going to kind of shadow the sky. Like so. And it's up to you as to how dark you want this to be. Okay, once you have that shadowed, you're going to shadow the bottom with pecan pie for your ground. And I apologize for the shaking of the table. Okay, so there you have the bottom. Then we're ready to mount this or pop dot this on top of our water image. So we're going to use pop dots for this like we did before. You're going to find in a lot of my projects I use a lot of 3D dimension because I like dimension in my projects. Okay, so I'm just going to do the corners, but then I'm also going to go in and I'm going to cut some of these. Now keep in mind, here's a tip for you if you don't know this already, but you can use every part of these sheets, adhesive sheets, and sometimes cutting them in half will make them go a lot longer or a lot further. So I'm using these on some of the trees so the trees stand out or stand up more. I want to be able to see that there's more dimension and, you know, looking out into the water. So you're just going to take your dimensionals and just scatter them throughout. Put one right there, and then we'll put some down the bottom, right through here. That one looks like it may go over my tree a little bit. Okay, so you just want to make sure you don't get an overlap or that your dimensional is not going to go over the tree, because you don't want to see a dimensional. That will ruin up your whole image. Okay, and then you can go ahead and peel off these backings. And sometimes, yeah, you sometimes have to double check and make sure you get all of them off, especially when you put a lot on them. Okay, and I believe I got all of them off. Okay, so then you're ready to stick this down and center it as best you can. You know, because once you put it down, it's down. Okay, so there you have your image. And as you can see the dimension of the trees sticking up on top of the water. So, okay, now we're ready to build our card. So I have a 8.5 by 5.5 piece of basic white cardstock, and you're going to score it at 4 1/4. And then you're going to take your bone folder and give it crisp edges or crisp spine. Okay. Then I just glued this flat down because there was already a lot of dimension going on. So you're just going to take your liquid glue, or if you have a tape runner, that's fine too. And this card folds the same as the other one. You're going to just center this onto the front of your card. Like so. Okay. Then I went ahead and colored my beaver and die cut him out. If you need to see the tutorial on how to do this, it's on the previous video. I showed you how to color this beaver before using our blends. Okay. Oh, and then the dam, I've got the dam stamped twice, and it's pecan pie on top of pecan pie. Okay, and I have 2 on this particular one. So I'm going to go ahead and get these ready to mount as well. Okay, and I believe I put him here. And then I put this one down from it. Like so. And then I put the beaver right here kind of in the corner. I went ahead and die cut my leaves out of the dies from the Fluffiest Friends. They give you enough leaves that you can cut 2 at a time, 2 different colors, so that's real handy. I've got garden green and lemon lime twist here. Those are the 2 cardstocks I used. And just with glue, you're just going to sporadically glue your leaves on here. So we'll put one right there. One right here on the edge. And I'm just mimicking or copying the one I did previously to make it fast. Here's that one. Just kind of put some color on these trees is all I did. And you can leave them brown if you want to keep them brown. But I thought I kind of wanted it to look like springtime. Okay. And then I think I'm just going to do one more here to show you. And we'll put that one right up here. Okay. Now the last thing I did is I took a strip of vellum, okay, because I wanted it to not overpower my scene. I wanted everything to go to the scene and not the sentiment. So what I did is I used the vellum to go across the scene, and I want to say this is 1/2 inch by 4 inches across, and I stamped "It's a Great Day." Now when you stamp on vellum, you've got to use StazOn because it is a non-porous surface. So you definitely want to use an ink that will stamp on non-porous material. Okay, and "It's a Great Day" comes from the Rhino Ready set. It's also an online exclusive. So I'm just going to mount this onto a clear block and stamp it in the StazOn. And I'm just going to center it onto this strip. So I'm just going to stamp "It's a Great Day." Okay. And you just want to kind of shake it a little bit and let it air dry. It should be air dried as soon as you stamp it, but just to be on the safe side. And then because this is vellum and you can see adhesive through it, how I covered that up is I used adhesive backed gemstones. And on this one particularly, we're going to use the brushed metallics. These are kind of rustic looking. On my original, I used the pecan pie gemstones that were found in the Celebration book, but because we're no longer in the celebration period, I'm going to use these because these kind of look masculine, and they'll do the trick on this particular project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if this works. I'm going to use my pick a tool and use the putty side, which kind of grabs your adhesives for you so you don't have to find ways to get them off the sheet. And I'm just going to come in and I'm going to glue it right there on that side. And then I'm going to grab another one in this bronzy color. I think the bronze goes really well with the pecan pie. And then I'm just going to put it over here on this side. Now, it's not going to glue your paper down for you, okay? But what it will do is you can go in now and put either a little mini glue dot on the back side of these or like a little bitty dab of liquid glue. And when you do put it down, you're not going to see the glue because the gemstones are covering it. Okay, and so there's how this card comes together. So now you have one that has a matte brown image, or you have one that's got a little bit more of a metallic image to it, which I love the metallics. I think the metallics really add a lot to it. So here's how that card came together. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you give it a try, and I will see you in my next video using the Fluffiest Friends. See you later and have a great day. Bye-bye.